Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gym Rat World. My name is Rob, and this is a spot where you can typically get, fast and simple information. Today I'm going to be talking about the supplement industry and how it is actually regulated. Now, there's a lot of people that are taking supplements right now. The supplement industry is growing year after year, and I feel like there's not too many people who know fully, what they're consuming, how it is manufactured, kind of things like that. Is it safe? All those different questions a lot of people are asking. I get those comments on a lot of my videos, so I figured I'd create this video, kind of help some people out who are curious about it and just provide you some information about it. Now, you should know, I have a fitness channel and I do supplement reviews, I do things like that, but you should know that I'm not a strong proponent of the supplement industry in the terms of everything that they do is completely correct, and also I'm not on the side where I say that supplement industry is all bad and all of that stuff, right? There's obviously some nuance going on. There's some things that are being done great, and there's also some things that are not being done well at all. I just want to make sure that's clear. I'm not pushing an agenda on anybody or anything like that. So that's why I'm making this video, and hopefully, this will help you out. Now, to begin, the supplement industry is not that small, all right? There's about $37 billion industry, and it is growing year after year. So it's a pretty decent sized industry. Now, as far as how many people take supplements, it's about half of Americans. So it's a lot of people who are consuming these supplements, and you would think something like that would be highly regulated, right? You'd have all these different people, regulating it, overseeing it, making sure everything's good, everybody's safe. That's just not the case. So, the FDA does regulate the supplement industry, and there's only about, $5 million in their budget every single year. And reports have said that there's less than 10 people who actually regulate the supplement industry. And that's not that many people, right? You might be sitting there asking yourself, well, how does that even work? I mean, how are they able to do that? How are they able to make people safe? All those different things. How is that even possible? Well, it kind of works and it kind of doesn't work at the same time. Now, we'd actually have to go back to 1994 for you to really understand the full scope of what's actually going on with the supplement industry. Now, back in 1994, they came out with this Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act. Now, what this did is it classified supplements as food instead of drugs, right? This is a very important fact in this whole entire regulation, all these things, because as drugs, if it was classified as a drug, what happens is that you have to go through tests, you have to make sure it's effective, you have to make sure it's safe as well before it is marketed, bought, or consumed by anybody. Now, when it's classified as a food, the opposite is true. So you can literally take a supplement without it being proven to be effective, safe, or anything like that. You can push it out into the marketplace, you can sell it, people can buy it, they can consume these things, and the FDA is not going to do anything about it, right? The FDA doesn't do anything at all unless something is deemed harmful to people, or if that supplement company is marketing their product as something that's going to cure, prevent, or do anything crazy to diseases. That's going to be the end-all be-all answer to all those things. So that's when the FDA actually steps in, when it actually does harm somebody, so that's more reactive, or if they're just overstating what the supplement's actually going to do for people. And they define supplements as something that you take by mouth, whether it's herbs, amino acids, minerals, vitamins, things like that. So that's an important factor, because obviously there's not too much to regulate when everything is just reactive, when you're just waiting for reports to come in, and then you kind of go from there and you kind of find the company and you do all of that. So as far as the supplements that you're taking on the market right now, it's very possible that they actually didn't go through anything that showed that it was actually safe. Now, the FDA does regulate a little bit. They have to do a little bit of work here. They do go through the manufacturing process. That's their main thing that they do regulate. Now, that's one of the things that the FDA is a little bit more proactive on. They just make sure that they handle the packaging, labeling, all those things, that make sure to micromanage that process. So that's at least one thing that they do. However, like I said, some supplements go out on the market and they could definitely be unsafe, and it's just not good. Now, should you be sitting there thinking, oh, well, I'm never going to take a supplement again, this is ridiculous, I'm scared, they're dangerous, all those sorts of things. I mean, those are definitely things that I would be concerned about. I'm concerned about them when I buy certain supplements. The good news is that there are companies out there that are just not inherently evil. Like, for you to think of the supplement industry as something that's just all bad, everything's horrible, you would have to think that the people who are creating these companies are just trying to harm people and just trying to make money. And that's just simply not the case for most of the supplements that are out there. Now, the good news about being in 2018 is that we have reviews on basically all sorts of products all over the place. People can give their 2 cents on everything, and you can also easily access the FDA through email, letters, phone calls. There's so many ways to communicate with higher authorities or people who are regulating things on a bad company. And also you have the power of voices, the power of people going through reviews. So supplement companies that are just bad and they're actually doing harmful things, either knowingly or unknowingly, those companies are just not going to be around for too long. Do they exist right now? Yes, of course they exist right now. There's a very few that do this, but they do exist right now. However, as time goes on with our age of transparency, they're just not going to be around for too long. Plus, there's also certain certifications, there's certain processes that companies are starting to go through now, and they display these little labels on their packages as well. I'll pop them up right here. If you see any of these labels, this means that this company went above and beyond, and they made sure to test their products to make sure that the supplement is safe, it is also effective, and that they are aligned in what they say the supplement's actually going to do for you. And so you just got to look for these labels to make sure that you're picking the right thing. Plus, there's a lot of companies that go out there and actually do their own clinical trials by themselves, because again, the FDA doesn't regulate that. They don't really have to do any clinical trials or anything like that. So it literally is the exact opposite of the drug industry as far as all the regulations, trials, all those sorts of things. Now, as far as statistically speaking, again, there are some bad apples out there in the supplement industry. There's bad companies out there, and that's with everything, okay? Now, as far as statistically speaking, half of Americans take supplements, like I said before. Now, as far as how many people are actually being harmed by supplements, it's literally only 20,000 people, about 20,000 people a year go to the ER that could possibly be directly from supplements. So I look at it as like there's literally over 150 million people taking supplements, and only 20,000 people are having really adverse effects to it. That's not too much, right? As far as my risk going into a store, knowing what I know, which is all you have to do is look at what the packaging says. Are they being super outlandish with their claims? Also, if they have any of those little labels on them as well, you got to look for that. Your risk is very low when you're going in there. So I personally wouldn't be scared to do it. That's obviously why I have a channel that kind of focuses more on supplements. But I can definitely see how some people are a little bit weary of it. And yeah, there are some bad apples, like I said, but that's how the supplement industry is regulated. I mean, again, it's not really regulated. There's only a handful of people who are actually doing this, as far as just making sure that the whole industry is run legit and it's safe and all those things. But again, this is more reactive, okay? So if you see a company that is all bad, if you tried it and maybe you did go to the ER or something like that, then obviously you had to report it so you can snuff out, or so we can snuff out, all these companies that are just doing harm to other people. And they're also harming the other supplement companies that are out there that are just doing good things, right? Supplement companies who go out throughout the world and find out all these different herbs and things that we could be taking that actually helps our bodies, because these other people across the world have been taking them for literally thousands of years. For us to sit here and say, well, we can't benefit from something that people have used for thousands of years for a specific thing, that's kind of ridiculous, right? And that's kind of for those people. If you ever hear those people or say that supplements are complete garbage, everything's garbage, all of that, you already know who that person kind of is. And that's the fringe, okay? And the fringe usually talks about other things that are in the fringe, like the 20,000 ER visits that people have when they take supplements. And again, that's not even factoring in people's diet, exercise, other factors that go into sending them to the ER, how their bodies react, all those different things. So the fringe reacts on fringe, right? And we are the general population, if you're watching this, more than likely. And again, you just gotta look at the numbers. Like I said, 150 million people checking out supplements every single year, and only 20,000 go to the ER. I don't think it's too risky. Also, if you're just still worried about supplements, again, this is the Gym Rat World. My channel's basically focused around supplements, so I let you know on every single supplement review that I do if there's anything harmful going on. Typically, I just don't even review those sorts of supplements, but I let you know everything that's going on so you can feel a little bit safe when you're taking them. Now I hope I made this a little fast and a little simple for you. It wasn't too fast. It was probably pretty simple though. I'm not too smart. But yeah, that's how the supplement industry is regulated. Again, I'm not trying to say take supplements. I'm not sitting here saying you should jump on the supplement bandwagon or anything like that. But those are the facts, right? Supplement industry is just basically not that regulated. And yeah, that's just how it is. We just kind of got to look at the companies more. We got to apply pressure to the companies to make sure that they're doing the right things, since the FDA isn't really regulating them. So we kind of got to regulate it ourselves. But yeah, I appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by. Comment below if you have any questions on anything at all. Make sure to go to thegymratworld.com if you want any new gym clothes. But yeah, appreciate your time. Have a good day.